No, Aaron, it's too big. That frame is way too big. Okay, so um, we are in a kind of no man's land here, as in discussed in Discord. There's there's new pieces that I'm not aware of. Um, I don't know how and how to approach this, but we're gonna give it a try anyway. So what we are going to do here is we are you know designing the gearbox without the special gears with these two. And first, of course, we're gonna design a cluster of gears that's gonna mimic. It's gonna mimic what we have here. You know, um, a bit more light. Mixed results, but yeah, we're gonna design this. To have a cluster of gears same as this, and see how it looks, and then we'll see uh, what we can do from here. Anyway, let's do it. We get some gears, some axles. I'm gonna make them way too long because I have no idea actually how long they have to be. So it doesn't really matter. Okay. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah. Oh yeah. Haven't you seen it? I mean, it's the gearbox that we have been working on, and I already have plans to make some of it smaller, because obviously I realized that you can make it smaller. So we will. But first, let's make the gear cluster. I have to have this with me. Okay. So we have this here and this, and this on it, and then this here. Okay, so that's one of it. The next one is with these here. So we have this here, this here, and this here. Shame it's not color coded, so we would have red gears here and blue gears here, but it is what it is. Okay, and then we have this and this, and these two. Okay. Now the goal here is to make the gearbox as short as possible. So, we have to have these two positioned in a way, well, that would make it as short as possible. Ish. They are, unlike in the previous version, they are stacked. Which isn't the worst thing, actually. This isn't the worst thing. Um, So remember when I told you yesterday that the problem with this the existing gearbox here is that when we shift from third to second under load, the gearbox jams. It jams because, of course, the two gears are at one point are both of the selectors are in gear. Okay, so this will probably happen here too. But if we stack these with these, so with the extenders, we introduce more play, and this is probably exactly the play that we need to prevent uh, to prevent the jamming. Yeah. So this is how stacked they are. I wonder what we could do to make this look better. Would it make more sense so that these would be closer to each other, probably, to put this like that, and then we would have suddenly these two aligned. That, I think, would be perhaps better. Automatic gearbox that doesn't need computers. What? You have totally lost me. I mean, what do you mean? Does Lego allow? I don't understand the question or whatever. What would the consequences of this here be? We turn this upside down like that, and then we have these two the same as before. Obviously this axle here is gonna be quite long. Is this the right length? No, it's too long. Oh, oh. Okay, yeah, that's about right. Wait, what? that stupid, right? Where did I go wrong here? Ah. Okay, these need to be close. So we use this here. That. I'm just gonna use this here for this moment. Okay. So this would be a possible gear cluster. What can you build a working automatic gearbox without making it a big mess of gears and parts? Do Lego parts make it hard to make one? I mean, I wouldn't, because the mechanical gearboxes they all use a differential, and differentials are the weak point. And if you want to make it good, you need to use something other than the differential, which is gonna make everything huge. So I'm not a big fan. Okay. So this is, yeah, I see the problem here. This here needs to be there because this gear and this gear needs to mesh real clean, and they need to be here at the firewall. Okay, so we do need to change the order here. That, and we need to reverse this here. Like that. And then this needs to be longer. Okay, yeah. This is basically how this needs to look like. So how much longer is this compared to what we have here? Let's compare. Okay, so let's compare this. I will take, I can take this as a measure. It is 1, 2, 3 studs longer. One, two, three. Yeah, it is 3 studs longer than what we have here. Okay, so we are going to have to be a bit creative. So our gear stack needs to be, well, packaged better. And I would like to package it a bit more symmetrical, if it makes sense. A bit more symmetrical. And of course, sturdier while we're at it. So my idea would be that we use the frame here as the bottom reinforcement. On top, the frame cannot be used because of the engine. If we use the frame, then the engine crank is gonna, hit stuff. So that's impossible. So we're gonna use something else on top. Doesn't matter. Let's see. Obviously, we cannot use these frames like that because they are too high. Yeah. So the input is gonna be in this frame. Input shaft is gonna go into this frame. And then we have to be creative with mounting everything else, so it doesn't explode. Let's see what are the options. So everything here mounts exactly into this frame. Obviously the frame has to be lower because it's gonna be here. It's gonna sit here. So the main gear cluster is gonna be in the frame, which isn't ideal here for my purposes. I was thinking it would be easier. And it cannot be one stud further up. And even like that, we cannot have this in there, because if we have it like that, this gear here is gonna hit the frame, so we cannot use the frame, sadly. Okay, it was an idea. Sadly, isn't gonna work the way I want it. But doesn't mean it can't work. Hear me out. So, what if we use the frame here? So, we would offset it, so it would clear the gear here. It would be like that. And this makes it actually easier for us to mount supports to it. Here in the front, of course, is going to be very sturdy. And here in the rear, obviously what we want is, we want this cluster here, where the axles meet. It needs to be, very sturdy. In all directions, it cannot deflect. The less it deflects, the better. Yeah, I mean, the beams with the holes, with the alternating holes, will come into play, absolutely. But we need to, while we are at it, we need to create something here that is, working on multiple levels, and it has to be sturdy. Because obviously, when we use this here, and might as well do something here. So like this, and then we use this here, and then we have these clowns here. Obviously, this is gonna be just come on. This is gonna be just temporary because we need to do something here. But just so you get a grip of what we're gonna do. And then we have this gear cluster sitting up course. Of course. Like that. This gear cluster is gonna sit here. No. Here. This one's here. And the other is here. And they have room. Now we have to figure out, on this side, how to make the connection here really sturdy. And then, of course, on the other side. Obviously, we're going to use our friends' frames. Let's put them in. Yeah. So that's the width that we can work with, and this guy here sits nicely, just as it does on the current gearbox, nicely in here. Yeah. Obviously, the issues here are gonna be how we're gonna shift the gearbox. But I see options here. Yeah. I see options. So we are probably gonna have the shift forks up here, because we're gonna have more room here. Question is, how are we gonna make the face stuff here sturdier? Ideally, we would have a frame like that, but of course the frame does not fit in here. And it cannot be like that. But it can be one stud lower. The frame can be here. Yes, it can be here. Or can it? Actually, I don't think so. Let me see. Let me check with the chassis. I actually don't think the frame can be here. Come on. Sometimes I think I need a third hand. Come on. Yeah, frame cannot be here because there's no room for it. Okay. Yeah, it has to be flat there. Okay. Hey, Mr. Morty. Evening. Okay. What please don't write in Cyrillic. Nobody can read Cyrillic. Right, so we have the frame. The frame that is here. Yeah, we're gonna have to use a similar approach than we used before. Because because I really don't see any other solution here. What? Oh. How did I do this? Ah, yeah, right. That's how I did it. I mean, the old Gearbox, the old case is not bad. Don't get me wrong. We did a lot of things right there. We have to improve on. We have to improve on them. No, I mean, the 15 times 9 frame is just not what we need or want here, sadly. Okay. The good part here is that in contrast to the old Gearbox, you see, where the sides are not symmetrical, this here is symmetrical, which is already good. So we need to make here we need to make the face here that is gonna house the axles, and it needs to be, of course, pretty solid. In order for us to not get deflections, especially this one. This one must not deflect. How did we do this here? Not the best. Not the best. We can improve. We can improve on this. Yeah, I guess it will, but you know, the more redesigns we do, the better the product is gonna be. I like this. I like this. Holy shit! Yeah. Okay, this is gonna be. This is actually really sturdy. It cannot be any sturdier than this. At least, you know, at this point. It still can deflect. I mean, obviously it's gonna be always able to deflect a little bit, but you know. Don't be shy. Post pictures in Discord. No problem. I know words are sometimes difficult. Okay. Okay, we have a large gap to fill here. How could we make this better? So, essentially, how could we make this closer? If you know what I mean, we could save up one stud here. Now, if we move this here closer to this, so this would mean that this here would need to be different. But then, if we do this, we have no way of you know, making sure that this doesn't deflect. What? Alternating beam through the middle. What? I mean, make me some pictures or whatever. You know, I sometimes have horrible imagination. Sometimes I really need some pictures. How could we make this closer to each other? Because there's so many things that we need to consider here. Hey, Maxim. If we go like this. Okay. How to get you in this card? I don't know. The purpose is to get things in you know, aligned, I guess. The problem is that the differentials, you know, one is 4 stats long, one is 5 stats long, one is 3 stats long. That's a problem that we didn't have before. That's the issue here. That's why the clutch extension. And I'm thinking here how to make this 1 stat shorter. How to basically eliminate the part here and move everything 1 stat closer to the wall here. Because I mean, the wall needs to move as well, but is it possible? That's the question. Is it possible, and is it worthwhile? I guess it is possible. It is possible. Is it worthwhile? Maybe. Let's explore the possibility. I don't know if this is a good idea or not. Just exploring. Uh, Input is a center shaft with multiple gears, and there are other shafts and conversion to it. Well, the input is gonna be a central shaft anyway. Um, like it is here. There's a central shaft that is input, and it drives both of these gear clusters. And we absolutely do need one central shaft as the output. So we want to minimize the number of shafts in here. Otherwise, we're gonna have a huge mess. So first, we of course need to eliminate this wobble here, but we do need to this hole here because this is the hole for the axle that needs, you know, a retainer that we have here. So we have here a half that bushing, so the axle cannot theoretically slip out because that happens. This gives us everything is now closer to the wall, if you like, but doesn't really solve anything. This is not a solution. This is creating more problems than it solves. Yes, it's bringing everything one step closer, but creates more problems. Yeah, that's not okay. Come on. Come on. Alternating beams do not solve our problems here, unfortunately. What? Why would I trap a 5.5 axle in the differential? Why would I do that? Yeah, yeah. But there is, if the bot should have the link. The bot has a new link. I think if you use the bot, you will find out there should be a link to the Discord. Yeah, but the problem is 5.5. First of all, I cannot get the 5.5 the 5.5 in here. No way, other than using brute force, which I'm not gonna use, and it's useless. And 5.5 is too long. We need 4 stats. What will we do with 5.5? That's way too long. I mean, you know, how are we gonna put a 5.5 axle in here and then the differential as well? If you would assemble this in CAD, yeah, I can see this being possible in CAD, but it's not possible in reality. You know, this is not possible in reality. Please do. Please do. The bot advertises itself every few minutes. So I think if you scroll up, there's one of his advertisements. Okay. Right. This should be very sturdy. Okay. Okay, I'll do this for now because I have no idea what we are gonna do here in the middle. Oh, it did. Uh, well, post the command here, and okay, right. It should. Where is Daranator when you need him? Actually, I mean, he set it up. I actually don't know how to operate the bot. I mean, he showed me, but I forgot. Let me see. Just a second. Let me see where the bot is. I did make a bookmark for it somewhere. There it is. There it is. Just a second. Okay, let's see. Chatbot. What are the commands? Chat commands. Command variables. No. Exclamation mark commands. Put in exclamation mark commands, and it should display a list of commands that it has. and one of them should be, I think, Discord link custom comments. Let's see. Yeah, exclamation mark Discord, exclamation mark Discord. That's where it should post the Discord link. And I'm gonna update the Discord link just to be sure. Oh, that's how you would do it. Yeah, but that's not possible. We don't have the room. Not really. And this creates other issues that I really don't want to deal with. The bot doesn't work. What? Why does it not work? It should work. The command the command for Discord is active. Hmm. Interesting. The bot is active. Should be. Hmm. Interesting. I mean, the bot loads and everything, but I mean, I'm gonna post the Discord link in the description of the stream after it's done. That's at the moment that's the best I can do. No, it's a Stream Elements bot. Of course, it's not a paid bot. I don't have the funds to have some paid bots. What the fuck? Get real. Right. Right. How do we close this here? Yeah. The shifting mechanism is gonna be interesting to make, to say the least. Hmm. I see some interesting possibilities. Like this. Like this. Come on. Okay. Okay, everything rotates freely. That's okay. But this needs to work under load. Will it? I don't know. And we need room for a mechanism here that's gonna sit right here in front of the gears. And the mechanism needs to be rotating. Needs to be rotating. And the shifting forks are gonna be up here somehow. Yeah, I think the frame here is nice and all, but we are gonna have to get rid of it because it creates more problems than it solves. So we're gonna change the frame for the lift arms with alternating holes, and use just a frame underneath them, maybe even this frame underneath them to stabilize everything. Yeah, that's how we're gonna do it. I mean, you know, after all, this is entertainment as well. You know, it's not just Lego, because just Lego would be boring. I absolutely agree. Uh, I don't think that you know, as far as streams goes on the internet, if you have a stream, you know, just with the subject matter and stuff, and you're not at least a little bit entertaining, it's a dead cost. For fuck's sake. We need a little bit of entertainment. Okay. Yeah, so we are gonna use the lift arms here. There's no way around it. Yeah, there's no way around it. No problem, no problem. It's probably better. For the best, as they say. I don't know. I think not. I think YouTube does not allow links in the chat. I could be mistaken, but I don't think they do. Okay. Here. Well, that's a creative way of pasting the link. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know. I know. I mean, it's great to be creative. Ooh, nice, nice, nice. This gives more opportunities. Okay, yeah, great, great, very good. Nice. Okay. See what I did here? I basically put this in here to stabilize this so the axle, doesn't deflect too much. We could do this here as well, potentially, so that we trap this in here and even even we prevent even this movement. Since this is a very stress part, we probably should do something about this. Um, yeah, we probably should. And we will. Okay. Okay. But we need to put one in here as well. This one, however, will be different. This one will be different. So we're gonna have just a second. We're gonna have this here. Okay, so this cannot be here. I want to have the gear cluster supported here, like we have now, and here as well. This is even the more critical one as well, I think. Can also be the beam with pins on the end. I don't know. Cannot, probably. But I want this here to support it. Oh, come on. Just see how far in we can go. Yeah, like this. Okay. Right. So we have to do this, yeah, because the chassis is preventing us to go any wider here. Okay. Okay. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, but you know, knowledge of bricks is also important. I sometimes, you know, I'm not aware that some pieces exist, which is, you know, my disadvantage, I guess. Um, just a second. Let me think here. Hmm. 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 Like this. Yes. Yes. Okay. Um. Probably 100. I mean, why would I order less than 100? If you're ordering, you know, it's a, you know, it's a nice round number. Um, wait, what? Where do I have these parts? Just a second. Just a second. Okay. Mm, the timings people choose. Okay. Right. Yeah. So I need to do this there, there, and there. This, and now we have this in here. This one needs to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, how convenient. Or that. No, perfect. Perfect. Come on. Okay. Mm-hmm. Sequence is very important. Very important. here. There. And there. Oh. There we go. Okay, wow. So all of this is actually pretty sturdy. This needs to be on higher at least. Oh, more. Needs to be 10. What? No. Up. It's not yeah, okay. This one is already the correct length, I think. But no. No. Needs to be a tenner. Oh, come on. Okay. Okay, both need to be longer. So this one needs to be tenner. Okay, yeah, because it needs to be 2 studs out here because we are gonna support it here. Okay. And this one needs to be an 8. Yeah. This one needs to be an 8. Yeah. Carbon excellent, yeah. Okay. So that's very good. I mean, this here is is as supported as we can make it. I mean, we minimize the chances of anything deflecting here as much as we could. I mean, this is, you know, as far as what would break here is maybe this differential. This differential is probably the weakest link here. Anyway, let's do this part here. What do you mean the white connector is weak? I don't understand. It's as the strongest part here, and it's supported everywhere, you know. The weakest part is the differential here. So if anything breaks, it's gonna be... Wow, really? Okay. I mean, this has to be a real high load for it to snap. I mean, it's supported everywhere, and the force is really torsional, just torsion. But let's see how we can. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah, I understand. We can change it for a different color. Maybe red. Or black. Whatever. Okay. So now we have the task of connecting these here in a sturdy manner. Okay. Okay, now how do we connect these? Hmm. Hmm? Oh wow. Black too. Okay. Black too. So no color is immune, really. Okay. Not ideal, not ideal. Oh yeah, forgot about this. Forgot about this. You know, I want to do, I want to build smart, not just excessive, if possible. And trying to figure out how to do this effectively. No, I don't want to waste parts. No, this is. No, wait. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's acceptable. This is acceptable. We can make this smaller. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So this here will feature that guy here. Yes. Yes. This. Hmm. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 as well. Okay. 5 as well. And this is 1, 2, 3. Oh, 3. Okay. Okay, so we replace this here with a 5er, and this here with a 3. we cannot slide this in. Because we need to first slide this in before we do the axles. Yeah. Oh, come on. Okay, and now we need this here. This binds everything together. So theoretically, this here should be relatively sturdy. Yeah. We'll see when we run this, but it should be okay. Because the biggest problem here is the connection between this here and the small gear here, I think. Or is it this gear and this gear? I actually forgot which one it is. Because these here, can they slide? Maybe. I mean, this is pretty sturdy, I would say. So now that we have this here, the next challenge is to put in the shifting mechanism. This is all nice and good, but without a shifting mechanism, you know, it's pretty useless. You know, we are going to fix this later, this wobbling. But let's put this side by side. So you can see that this part here is further forward than it was before. And we have less room for a shifting mechanism than before. And the shifting mechanism itself is probably gonna be slightly different. Yeah, I don't know how different. And I don't know where it has to be and how we're gonna time it. That's the issue. Timing it is gonna be interesting. I want to dump this down as much as possible so that everybody can build it without really thinking about timing this, or at least, you know, that the timing this mechanism would be that simple. We can still, I think we can still save a little bit here, maybe, if it's needed. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, the timing mechanism, again, it has to be a drum that rotates. And it's gonna, in this case, it's gonna slide these, you know, left, back and forth. probably we're gonna have either this here, or we could have, you know, a lift arm that's gonna do the sliding. No, sadly cannot use. I have no idea what shift mechanisms or shift parts Nico is using when designing a new car for Kata. I have no idea. I don't have knowledge of that. I will ask Kata if they want to disclose it to me, but you know, I will probably not be able to tell you. But it is what it is. I mean, this all runs very well with basically no friction. We're gonna fix this twisting, but it's really okay. Okay, how do we shift? Where do we begin? Where do we begin? Okay, understood. If we have some sort of sliders here, like we have on the other on this gearbox, I would prefer the sliders to not be axles, because axles have the problem. Kata axles apparently more than Lego. The friction is not ideal, and we have to work with that. So ideally, we would have, I don't know, maybe a lift arm going back and forth, or something, or maybe we could even place the forks in here, because we actually they don't overlap. Yeah, they don't overlap, and we maybe could get away with them. Let's see. I don't think so, but because there's just not enough room. Yeah, no, just not enough room. If we had them, you know, here in the middle, just not enough room. If you know, if only they would be just this part without the axle part, then we could have them here in the middle. But no, we could have them here, of course, but keep in mind that we have to keep certain height for the engine. That's the problem. We cannot go above this plane here. So maybe these here would not be the optimal way to shift here. one in the middle here, actuating this maybe somehow. You know, this going back and forth, and then having a drum here, and then we need to solve this one as well. If they are both static, we can have this one like this, and this one would be one longer. Just in the middle. But what would we actuate this? That's the main question. What would this be actuated by? Okay, this one here can be perhaps, but no, not really, because this is in the way. Damn it. No, we could have maybe this actuated here. Oh, yeah. Problem is yes, but not really. And this one here is impossible because it's stuck on both sides. This one we cannot shift either way because it's, you know. How often are we gonna go through this? We cannot use the orange selector. Orange selector is off limits for us. So yes, I agree. The orange selector would be perfect in here and in here. Great. We cannot use it. So that's it. You know, I mean, but even if we tried this connector, this here, we couldn't use it in here because of the edges here. You know, because of the edges here, they wouldn't allow it to rotate here. Because it's again a yes but situation. So either we completely redesign the sides here, which we absolutely could do, or we think of something else. So if we had, theoretically, if we had this one here, we could then put a link that goes further inside the gearbox, have it have a lift arm or something go to the front, and have a sort of, you know, drum or something here that would then rotate and actuate this here. So I mean, not exactly, but we had this before. The drum should be probably just you know, rotating differently. I don't think I'm smart enough, but we are probably gonna have to redesign the sides here. Probably with these here. With these here. So we would place them like here, here. I don't know. The problem is these here so nicely bind all of this together. Would be almost a shame. We can switch them here for something else, but here these are kind of essential. Kind of essential. It's kind of hard to get rid of them here. Yeah, but what would you do with the frame? What would you do with the frame? It doesn't fit. The problem of the frame is it doesn't fit here below, so we cannot put the frame here below, and it's quite wide. So Niner is of course quite wide, and then how do we do the height? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, but I don't have the frame, so. Yeah, but Lasse, we are not allowed to use the orange connectors, the orange selectors. We are not allowed to use them. So it's off the table. We don't discuss the orange connectors. Yeah, amazing. The bot is finally, it has finally woken up. Um, I mean, I have an idea how to select this one, but I don't know how to select this one. Because if we select this one, then there's no room for this. Just when you think you have figured it all out. You suddenly have a nope moment. Nope. Oh my god. Oh my god. Flash, yeah. I mean, if anybody has any ideas, I'm pretty sure that something will emerge until Friday. But god damn it. Hmm. Between the frames. Between the frames. Where between the frames? You mean this one? I mean, I don't know. Doesn't go in between. Flip the flip the axle with the red diff. What do you mean? Yeah, no. As I said before, we need to steer away from axles because the axles. The problem is that axles are very analog. You know, things on axles can slide, and I don't like if things that shouldn't be sliding can slide, and people who are building the gearbox uh, cannot be expected to perfectly align everything. You know. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. You know, if we would mount this a frame to frame, you know, like this, but this is not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. It's not really realistic. Because the only hole we can mount this to is the central hole, and the central hole is reserved for the axle that's rotating. So for this, and my philosophy is, of course, never, ever, in a gearbox like this, have the driving axle be a structural part. Frames that I already have. Show me. Two gray ones by the red of the. I mean this here. No, I don't know. Orbitus, if we flip the differential to this side, this would create way more problems than we have now. Way more problems. It cannot be here because if we flip this, then this big gear here would have to be here, and it cannot because then it clashes with this. So it has to be here. The layout is what it is. It's the optimal gear layout. The problem is that we would want, of course, you know, to have this sort of layout where we don't have the differentials but gears, but we don't. We can't because the gears don't exist. I mean, we have custom gears, but you know, they just don't exist. Um, Okay. If we rethink things a little bit, what we theoretically could do here. But only theoretically. Is yeah, but that's gonna create so many more problems. No, I thought if we had the shifting forks here on the bottom, so we would get rid of this part here and have the shift fork here at the bottom, and then a lever going up here. The lever would be slim enough, and then something to the front. But no, that's not really a good idea either. How much room do we even have here? There is room for something like that, but then we would need to really play this very smart. So in order to avoid using axles, we could use something like this here. The problem is, of course, that yes, but see, we cannot shift because we would need just one stud, and I don't think that we have a part like that. It has just this one stud. I don't think that exists. Maybe. Maybe. That would go. But only here. Here, it already fails. Only here it would go. Not here. Except if this was longer, but it's not. And these, if we had them sliding like this, it would be an option. But then we have to figure out how to make them do that. Just sliding like that. And if we mounted them like this, which we could, the problem is they stick out. And they stick out enough so that we cannot mount the engine. Because the engine is exactly here. Let's see. And since the engine is here, there's no room. I don't think we can mount the engine higher, one step higher, because then it's gonna be too high, I think, for the hood of the car. I think. And then we would have trouble with the I know. Bars can be used as gear selectors as well. Yeah, Aaron, that's cute and all, but how? How? That's just not gonna go. there's not enough room. There's no room. If these were rounded here, without this part here, yes, that would go. Like this? No. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I am pretty sure we are going to find out to come out come up with a system that works. Yeah, definitely we are. Mm, maybe some reshuffling is gonna be necessary, but we are going to come up with something, as we always do. And whatever we come up with is gonna be better than what we had before, as is usually the case. But it takes a bit of thinking, and thinking is hard. On the Lego Porsche had these. We are at the fundamentals, of course. We are trying to shift these forks. So, you know, no, it didn't. Interesting. I was certain. I was certain. No, no, no. The Bugatti already. The Porsche had them. I'm pretty sure that the Porsche had them. I mean, someone can look it up on the internet. No? Hmm. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, okay, okay. I see. Yeah, I see. God, what an awful design for a gearbox. Really. I mean, that's such a horrible design. I mean, my God. This is amazing. No wonder there was so much friction in the gearbox that it cannot be motorized. Which is, you know. Yeah, I mean, we are gonna have to do something with this. The frames are gonna have to go, the side frames, to make room for this to be shifted like this. And we are gonna have a, you know, if you remember the first iteration of the gearbox where we had the drum here in the front that was rotating in this direction. um, yeah, I know the forks do rub. I know, I know, but we, you know, we can, they don't have to be pulling extremely like here. You know, we can allow for, you know, for them not to fully engage but be just slightly, you know. Yeah, I mean, uh, if you look at it, all of these Lego supercars are basically glorified gearboxes. You know, they are glorified gearboxes, sacrificing every other aspect of the car just so you have a massive gearbox that is completely useless. Uh, Here, of course, we don't have a massive gearbox. We have four simple gears to make the car interesting and drivable. You know, we need to have a few gears so that there's something to shift. Uh, but our gearbox is designed to actually be sturdy and be something that's driving the car. Unlike the Lego ones, they just throw massive amounts of gears in it, and you know, that's all the gears that we need for four gears. There's too many gears, but it is what it is. Um, I would prefer it to be simpler, but we don't have the parts to do this. You know, imagine if those clutches here would be only one stud in width. These would be just one stud instead of two, and we would, these protrusions here would be thicker, and we would be able to, like in a real gearbox, basically use just one of those to shift. Then we would automatically, this gearbox would be automatically two studs shorter. And then if we got rid of the two gears here, so if the differentials would be gears, then this gearbox would be automatically even shorter. So even shorter than that. And the shorter the gearbox, the better. Uh, in the most extreme case, it would be as long as this, but we would have just one row of gears. So we would have enough room on the side to actually do the shifting. Just saying. And it would be, you know, it would be this long, or I mean, a bit, whatever. I mean, you know what I mean. Yeah, there are possibilities, but we don't have them here. Well, there's so much you can do, so much you can do with the rest of the car. Design, you know, you have to design the vehicle properly. Give people, you know, a satisfactory build experience, and then once they have built the car has to be, it has to offer something like remote control or whatever. Or, you know, like in our case, we're gonna have switching between remote control and hand of god steering, and you know, all of this. Mm. Come on. I don't know. I don't know at the moment. Something needs to be redesigned. Um, I mean, you know, it's Lego. They don't have any foresight. They don't bring stuff that is necessary. Their designers are just, I don't know. Sometimes, I bet they're not, but sometimes it appears like there are morons. But, you know, that's just my outside opinion. Somebody is not thinking, really. Just, you know, thought experiment. If we would do this, if we had this here, for example, would this even be possible? Yeah, not really. Not like this. If we had like, I don't know, this here, and then used this here, for example. Okay, for example, this is not constraining us like the frame, because I mean it's the same thing that with the frame, but we don't have the frame part here, and we cannot shift the frame to this, because then the frame clashes with the gear here, and we don't even have holes to mount it. Okay, so if we choose this here, then we have the problem that everything here is not supported. So we would have to, you know, think of something here. But okay, let's go with this here. We can deal with this, I guess, later. There's possibilities to make this work. How do we then actuate this here? So we need to then make a lever here, and we would have a drum here. A drum. Yeah. Now the question is, what kind of drum would we have here? How much this would need to rotate, and what levers do we use here? Because if the drum rotates the way it rotates here, we have a problem. If it rotates, you know, in a horizontal way, in a vertical way, sorry, like it did in the first gearbox iteration, we have another problem, because then we lose the simple alignment of, you know, the simple shifting stuff. Then we have to turn this 90 degrees somehow in a very limited space. I'm not saying that's impossible, just saying it's gonna be difficult. I don't know. Anyway, it's late. My brain doesn't work anymore. So yeah, I will really think about how to make this work. Maybe a complete redesign will be necessary. We'll see. Because I will actually, from a thinking perspective, I will approach this basically how we gonna make the shifting. So right now we have been approaching this on gearbox first, shifting, we'll see. Now I am going to do the opposite and do the shifting mechanism first, in my mind at least. Maybe I'm going to experiment a little bit with the build, and then we'll see if we can maybe meet in the middle somewhere. Maybe there's something I have overlooked, probably, and maybe the shifting mechanism that I will come up with, if I do, will inspire me to do something else with this. Who knows? Who knows? There are possibilities. What they are, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure there is something that, you know, something that can be done. if we approach this from a different perspective. Ja, ich weiß, Mr. Robotik. Ich weiß, es wird schon. Am Ende wird alles gut. Wir schaffen das. Ja. I mean, of course it's gonna work. Of course it's gonna work. It always does. Just need to find a solution that not just works good, but looks good as well. You know, it has to be a satisfying build. I don't want it to feel like it's, you know, something fiddly and then you have to constantly align the axles because the gearbox doesn't shift anymore because some axle has slightly disconnected, and you know, that's not really the point here. In this regard, the orange shifting discs are nice, but we've proven that things can be done without them. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you for watching and staying with me. And I see you on Friday.